Hello, it's Umar Racing. Oh man, I'm very excited to make this video. I have some upgrades for the car. I have gotten new wheels and tires. I'll be probably showing them in an upcoming video. You might see them while I'm moving around with the camera. But the main focus in this video is going to be rear upper arm for the Veloster end. These are the SPL camber adjustable upper arms. I've been kind of looking forward to getting these. The reason why I'm getting these arms is because it gives me adjustment of camber from the kind of top of the knuckle instead of the bottom. By default from the factory, the camber adjustment, when you add camber, it kind of pushes the bottom of the wheel out, and then when you reduce camber, it pulls it in. And I think since the toe arms are kind of in front of the lower arm, when you push the lower arm, it I think adds toe in, and then so you have to kind of counteract that with adding some toe out to kind of cancel that out, or at least, you know, set it to a good range. The wheel setup that I have gotten doesn't fit like perfectly. On full compression, it rubs on the tires that I've gotten. The tires are 245 40 18. With a normal offset, that's like it's a very easy way to fit that tire. The wheels are 18 by 8.5 plus 35 offset, so it's a pretty low offset, and so that the wheel and tires stick out. So because of that, on full compression, especially on the driver's side, it rubs like on the kind of side of the tire. I don't think that's like sustainable if you cause damages to the tire and tear it over long term. What I did was I added like as much camber as I could from the lower arms. What that did was pretty much change the angle of the approach of the fender. So it just started rubbing a little bit lower. So I like pushed it out and it started rubbing just a little bit lower. So it's still problematic. With the upper arms, let's say this is the fender, I can pull this part in so that the fender can go in and leave enough gap. And good part about adding a second point of adjustment for camber is that, let's say I do that and I have like way too much camber. Let's say I have -3 and I only want 2.5. What I could do is now on the lower arm, I can reduce the amount of camber that I added. So I can pull, let's say we pulled the top in, so that I can pull the bottom in a little bit. So that gives more adjustability and flexibility on fitting wider tires and wheels. Granted, on the 8.5, the widest I can do is like 45. I can do 255, but it will bulge out a lot more. So far, I'll stick to 245. Enough talking. I always ramble on a little too much. Let me show you how the installation of the upper arms go. I've already finished one side. Reason for that is that I have not done this before, so I rather kind of go through it first instead of just kind of figuring it out on the fly. Let me show you an unopened one. So this is the documentation for it. SPL has kind of good instructions. So this is the stock arms, and here's the SPL arms. As you can see, they're adjustable and you can adjust the length. You can loosen these titanium bolts. It's really nice that these are titanium. Harder to strip. Yeah, and then the bushings are, of course, they're solid, you know, zip tied like this because they come out and they fall out. So it's just when you're installing it, you just have to be mindful. And here you can see the factory ones have kind of like this one feels more rubbery than this one. They're very stiff rubber, but it is rubber, so there's still some slight movement. I'm gonna put the camera on a tripod and we'll start installing this. So before we do that, I can kind of show you how it looks like finished. It's like a whole kind of a mess all over my garage because I'm doing camber plates and camber arms here. So this is how it looks like. So you can see it connects to the knuckle like this. The adjustments can be done here by loosening up these 3 bolts here. Once you loosen these up, this one allows this kind of hame to turn, and these two allow this bolt to turn. You usually want to kind of loosen all of them together so that this stays at the top. As you rotate, you can kind of adjust it. Yeah, I think the torque is like 12 foot-pounds, so it's a very kind of like hand tighten. Anyways, let's get started. I'll get my knife and put this camera on a GoPro. I'll put this camera on a tripod, and we can get started. Okay, so start opening this up. So nicely made. So like I said, you just turn these and they just loosen up. Just loosen these up a little bit. That will allow them to rotate. And if you don't know like your alignment settings, or let's say if you're not doing alignment at home, they recommend kind of sticking to kind of like the same length as your stock one, just to keep kind of approximately same let's say camber values. It will obviously change. It will just changes, you know, slightly. It will change everything. Put the holes through and look through. I'm gonna make it slightly shorter, but yeah, according to the instructions, you need to make sure like these portions don't go over a certain amount. So I'm gonna kind of just tighten these for now. I want to go to the other side and measure how much kind of gap I have between these things, so I can have both sides be the same, and then I can play around with the wheels on, and then once I take it for alignment, we'll completely dial it in. So here we go to the other side and measure. I'm going to be taking that top bolt off. So both of them are, I think, 19 mil. I will actually put this on this side so I can apply leverage from the other side. Of course, we need to reuse the bolt. So I recommend using some kind of like a wrench like this to hold it. There you go, the bolt is out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put like just a jack underneath here just to add some support. Need to hammer this out a little bit to get the bolt out. Other than that, it's pretty easy. So I use like something like this to push it out. Okay, let me just pump the jack a little bit. Again, this is just to kind of not let this thing sag. I think it's okay. There we go. As you can see, it didn't really move. So this is the bolt, and there you go. That's how they connect, and you just reuse this one. Now the fun or not so fun part begins. I will take the camera off the tripod. My battery is dying, so I'll have to switch the battery soon. So let's go underneath the car. I'll show you where it is now. So I'll just give a quick pointers. You see that bolt over there? Yeah, so that bolt is like glued into it's part of the kind of suspension, I guess, or subframe. That bolt won't come out, so don't even try. So you just leave that one and just go to the other side. See that bolt? So I think that's a 19 mil, and you use some kind of an extension, so you can either extend it like somewhere from here and then go to it, or yeah, that's pretty much the only way. Or you can go through kind of this toe link and is this zoomed in? There you go, zoomed out, there you go. So you can go between the lower arm and the toe arms and go over there and then adjust it that way. So anyway, so once you do that, the bolt just comes out and then the arm will drop, and then it's easier to kind of pick up the arm and go that way. So anyways, let's quickly do that. Okay, I'm going to be recording from this angle so you can watch me struggle from there. I have like a smaller wrench here with a 19 mil tip, so here we go, like this. So just gonna use something like that, go in there and take it off. So like I said, you can squeeze it from here. It's a little tough from here, so I'm gonna try it from the back. Oh, when you're at the bottom of a kind of daily driven car, a lot of stuff falls off. So let's see if we can get it off from here. Yep, here we go. Just needed to get a good leverage on it. I think the arm already moved. Now maybe we could use the smaller wrench and just quickly get it out. Okay, just keep on turning it. It's almost out. Okay, here we go. So I'll hold on to the arm from here and take the bolt out. we go. Just gonna leave it there. Yeah, here we go. This is the other bolt. Like I said, the other part of it is pretty much glued into the subframe. I should have really put on some gloves, but oh well. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is on these arms, cut off these zip ties and slide that bolt that I just took in and install the kind of the rear part. I would recommend just cutting off kind of one side only, and that'll just make your life easier. So just put it down like this. Just let it sit like that. And like I said, only take out, kind of cut the first part or the inner part, because those bushings are solid bushings, they will fall. So instead of looking for them in here, you just can not worry about it and just, okay, the bolt is in there. Gonna hand tighten. I need to look up the torque values for these and torque both ends. For now, I'm just gonna kind of hand tighten, go as much as I can, so that it's just, you know, it's holding in there. Then we can do the other side. Really cleaning the exhaust with my t-shirt, and on this side, we'll do the same. Let's cut off this piece. There we go. Take it off. Just for demonstration purposes, this is how those spherical bushings and these hame joints come out. Put the bolt through. So as you can see, it's not aligned yet, so just have to push the hub a little bit forward, shake the car up, and that's it. The bolt is in there. There we go. That's it. Just need to tighten the torque, and after this, like I said, you'll just come. Let's say you have one of those like those T adapters, or you have one of those, I don't know, those hex bit socket sets. You can put it into your tiny little wrench and just adjust. You don't need too much, you know, power, like leverage, to be able to adjust these. You can just loosen these up and then rotate this. Since you set this part, it's not gonna move anymore. You can't really rotate it, but you'll be able to rotate this. So once you loosen these three, you'll be able to rotate, and when you turn it to the right, it will reduce your camber. When you turn it to the left, it will add more camber. So that's how you can adjust the camber here. Yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. It's very nicely built, very easy to install, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, that's all I have for this video. Let me turn the camera around. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Again, I kind of went over how the upper arms adjust everything. So yeah, if you again have any questions about this, let me know. If you're thinking about doing this, just like holler at me. I will try to answer any questions. I'm also learning these on the fly as well. So yeah, I didn't think I needed this until I got the wheels and tires. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found this useful. After this, I'm going to be recording video on camber plates. Unfortunately, I didn't install the camber plates myself. I took the struts off. So I'm just kind of walk you through how I took the struts off, because there's some gotchas if you haven't done it before. But other than that, it's pretty easy to do. But the camber plate part isn't. I'm using the stock springs, and it's at the shop right now. My mechanic friend is working on it, and he's swapping it over. It is much more difficult with the stock springs. It's much easier to do it with lowering springs. So if you have lowering springs, I think it's a good combination. I decided to stick to stock springs. So yeah. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Don't fry, don't fry, don't fry.